was telling you about Beatrice, though. Okay, that's what I'll do. I was telling you about Beatrice, and Beatrice was quite a person. My grandmother, she actually raised me for most of my life, and because my mother was a working mom, she had like 3 jobs, and she worked at the florist, and then she was a receptionist and a secretary some days, and then on a few nights out of the week, she was one of those cold callers for the window and door storm windows and doors and stuff. And she got hung up on a lot, I guess. But anyway, so the point is she worked a lot. And on Tuesday nights especially, they would take me, or she would take me to my grandmother's house and my grandfather's house. And my grandfather, he was something else. He would sing all the time, and apparently we had relatives from New Orleans that we'd hear about sometimes, and he always had a song on his tongue, though. He always ready with a joke too. And on Tuesday nights, he would come home and he'd get all gussied up, and he'd smell real good, like high karate. And he'd go out, and my grandmother's always strategically placed in the kitchen, doing the dishes right about 6 o'clock, doing the dishes. And he'd come by and he'd kind of walk by, smelling all high. And he'd walk out the door, and I said, "Where's he going?" "Oh, it's Tipsy Tuesday at the Moose Lodge." So that wasn't the official name of it. That was my grandmother always called it Tipsy Tuesday. So he'd get home really late, like 9 o'clock at night. And he'd come up the driveway. He was in such a good mood on Tipsy Tuesdays. And he'd come up the driveway, and my grandmother, she had strategically placed herself to dare to do that last dish as he came through the door. And then he knew exactly how to diffuse any tension that might be there. He'd come up behind her, and he'd put his arms around her, and he'd say, "Beatrice." And he'd give her the old moose call. Ba-boom. And she'd say, "Oh, John." Ba-boom. And then he'd break out one of those old New Orleans songs. Ba-boom. And he'd take her tenderly by her moist hand as she's trying to dry it off and put the last dish into the dish rack. And he'd lead her gently past the Maytag washing machine. Ba-boom. Past the General Electric refrigerator. Ba-boom. And draw her lovingly into the center of the kitchen floor. And pull her close and start to wiggle his hips a little bit. And she would resist, but then she would loosen up a little bit and start to, and then he'd sing her song like this song right here. Went down to St. James Infirmary, saw my baby laying there, laid out on an old white table. She was so young, so cold, so fat. Seemed like we'd only just spoken but yesterday. But now I'm down at St. James Infirmary on that long white table. She lay. Ain't no idea, what I'm saying. I went down to old Joe's barroom. on the corner by the square. All the drunks were drunk per usual. All my good friends were hanging out down there. On my left was old drunk Joe McHenry. His eyes so bloodshot red. And he having a drink to the crowd, and then this is what he said. Let her go, God bless her. Now, wherever she may be, she can search this wide world over, but she'll never find a sweet man like me. Oh, now when I die, won't y'all please bury me? My fine old straw doesn't have. Put a $20 tip in the old tip bucket, so all the fellas that know I died stand that wait. I'd like 6 bartenders for Paul barrels. I'd like some Pennsylvania girls to sing me a song. I take a 20-piece jazz band on my hearse wagon, 'cause Lipbone raised hell as he rolled it on. Well, now y'all all know the story. Somebody give me another shot of booze. I came out the way this morning. I've got those St. James Infirmary blues. I've got those St. James Infirmary blues. I've got those St. James Infirmary blues. All right. Tipsy Tuesday at the Moose Lodge, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!